On reflection, in my dotage, I have decided to try and put right a wrong which I caused some years ago, while rehearsing for a production in which I had been cast to play the lead. Distracted by an affair of the heart with the leading actress, I failed to learn my lines. Instead, I cut up the script and glued it to sundry props dotted about the stage. On others, I drew an arrow that directed me to the next cue. Thus, my opening speech curled a third of the way round a vase, which I pretended to admire. Although the play was a clever tragedy, I swiftly turned it into a farce. You see, my wife had got wind of my affair, and while she was dusting the set on the opening night, just prior to the curtain going up, she simply moved a few props. Ones with my cues on them, so they were out of sequence. After delivering my opening lines, I faithfully followed the first arrow to my second cue, as I thought, but it was my ninth. As you may imagine, the whole thing was a disaster, a fiasco of non sequitur. The audience revolted and we lost a fortune. The play immediately closed, and we had to sell off everything, including my props, with my clues glued to them, an unusual set of still lifes connected by a plot. In order to reassemble the lost work, I have bought back these props at auction, mostly of household goods, and I have retrieved all but the final item, the one with my closing speech on it. This was a vanity mirror, the sort one folds out of its case. In the final scene, this was placed on a table mid-stage, and as the leading actress used to apply makeup, I looked over her shoulder at her reflected features. As you may have guessed, my lines were written on this with lipstick. I found out later this actress for whom I had fallen had another use for her mirror. Each time I left her after an afternoon when we were meant to be rehearsing, she used to signal across the street to another lover that the coast was clear. Believe me, the final sentence of the play was the crowning glory of the playwright's masterpiece, and though I have tried to remember it, I can only retrieve the sense. Having never learnt it, its subtle twists and turns evade me, like an old friend one sees at a soirée whose name one cannot recall. The mirror belonged to the actress with the lips I knew so well, the lips that were the same colour as the lost words. The mirror will have gone with her to the grave, for she has been dusted away now. All I have left of her is the picture taken with this camera. I suspect that on the afternoon following the opening night, when I closed the door for the last time, she probably smeared the words on the mirror with a tissue, then polished it to signal to her other lover, the playwright. He only told me it was him after I ruined him. My wife's rearrangements not only broke all our arrangements, it lost the world a great play. I often think about that mirror. Without its words, it suddenly became so shallow, existing ever after only in one tense, that narrow band of time, the present. Wiped clean, the mirror could no longer look back in time to when those words were last spoken, or look forward to when they might be spoken again. It could contribute nothing of lasting value. It could not hold on to anything, only stare vacantly into space, gazing wherever it pointed. No longer could it reflect, as I can who have words, on disaster. And so that is how I come to be the owner of a sonnet on crockery and something else on a something else.
Soliloquy on a yacht. And I'm going to change angle, Bill, and that is how I can. Yes.
Yeah,
Here it is.
that is how I...
I'm sorry, we forgot that. You did that bloody well. The whole
And this
thing.
is how I came to buy a sonnet on a dinner set and a soliloquy on a yacht. And this is how I came to buy a sonnet on a dinner set and a soliloquy on a yacht. Okay?
And I'll go to long shot, I think. Yes, okay. Ready.
And this is how I came to buy a sonnet on a dinner set and a soliloquy on a yacht.